Here's your host, Alex Garrett.
And it's time for my 5-minute fix with you guys tonight. Last couple nights, I think the 5-minute angle has been working, and I want to keep branching it out. And tonight, I want to talk about something I stumbled on New York 1. Just watching for a couple minutes, I noticed something very interesting. That rough and tumble and often violent place known as Rikers Island has hired... See, this is where taxpayer dollars is doing good. Because the New York City has hired a mindfulness coach at Rikers Island. Oneida Mays is the first ever mindfulness coach at the Rikers Island Correctional Facility. She transitioned into yoga and meditation from a 20-year career in corporate retail leadership over 10 years ago. Where she is now at Rikers, she is working one-on-one with community members in a therapeutic medical setting. If there's ever a place that needed mindfulness and needed inmates to think, and I would say even guards, to have a little more awareness, have a little more consciousness, some people would say Taoism, I believe that this is a huge step forward. I believe that finally our taxpaying dollars is going to something good. Because in 2022, when we're seeing a erratic and maniacal behavior in Russia, we are now seeing, hopefully, a more grounded approach to the maniacal nature of Rikers Island, which is way better than closing the jail. I say we should leave it there, but yes, incorporate mindfulness. Have these inmates repent. Have the guards have a little more awareness of how the inmates are treating each other. And obviously, maybe mindfulness could rid us of the violence there. Because if we get on a straight and narrow path, each and every one of us, if we can get on a straight and narrow path, then yes, we can do big things. And I think those at Rikers, especially the juvenile, deserve a second chance. Some of them do. Not all, but some of them. And I think that what Oneida Mays has been hired to do is opening the door to that second chance. She believes that meditation, movement, and mindfulness practices can forge a path to freedom. I highly recommend you check out New York 1 for this story and her interview today. Because if New York City can work toward mindfulness beyond just the yoga mat, but into real life situations like Rikers Island and other places where crime is high, we talk about the anti-gun movement. We talk about combating anti-crime. But there's also the sense that we're just floating. There is no groundedness since this pandemic. And finally, a piece of New York City has mindfulness in the most rough and tough area known as Rikers Island. So kudos to Oneida Mays, who you can follow on Instagram. By the way, I just want to throw that out there. At Oneika Mays, Oneika Mays. She is a disruptor with love. And boy, oh boy, if there was ever a place to disrupt violence with love and mindfulness, it is Rikers Island. So my 5-minute fix today is on the fact that our tax dollars are going to something rather huge. And it's amazing that we've taken this long to highlight it, because I know that she's been there since at least August, maybe earlier. But where do you want to see mindfulness hit our streets next? If we can do Rikers Island, we can do pretty much any shelter. We could do pretty much any homelessness outreach. Maybe not just asking them, and I don't know if they yank them off the subways, but not so much that, but just being at one with the homeless community and just talking to them and making them feel comfortable. That's where mindfulness can play a role next. because this whole city is rough and tumble. We know that. But if one area can be handled with this kind of conscience, new age, if you will, then we should definitely bring this new age feeling of mindfulness and idea of mindfulness to our entire streets of New York. And I hope that's a goal. Because if it can work in Rikers, I pray it can work anywhere else. And maybe mindfulness is a way to bring back our city once and for all. Let's stay aware and let's stay mindful. Because if Oneida Mays can keep a rough and tumble, violent nature mindful, every one of us can do the same. And if every one of us can do the same, that's 8 million people having awareness. Tough task, but it's an optimistic view and an optimistic hope that just this one facet of the city is getting healed. We sure as hell can heal so much more. I'm Alex Garrett with this 5-minute fix.